This audio is being shittily recorded at like 8:30 outside during the night. Just to say this video is not hate on Yandere Simulator or YandereDev. I think I tried to make that clear at the end where I'm saying, oh my god, there's a car, 1 second. I think I tried to make that clear at the end of the video where I explain more, but during the video you'll see me like laughing at this Napoleon comparison and a couple of other things. That was intended to no way be disrespectful. It was more intended to be, lol, I'm a bit of a retard, this is my YouTube personality, yep, enjoy it, type thing. Not any kind of attack on YandereDev. I don't actually think he's that bad, so please keep that in mind while watching this video. Thanks for watching and enjoy. Hey guys, Megatru here from the hub, back with another video. And today I'm going to talk to you about something I'm calling the YandereDev Experiment. I also haven't written for a script for something that really should have one, so note that everything I'm saying here is an ad-lib unless I'm reading it. So basically, the YandereDev Experiment. What I've done is I've created 3 different pieces of fan art and mailed YandereDev these pieces of fan art from 2 different accounts, email accounts. So it's meant to be 3 different email accounts, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Just know that I sent 3 different emails, and each of these emails contained something different each time. One of them contained a suggestion, which he doesn't want. One of them contained critique in light of how he struggles to code and all this other information dug up about him. And the other one just saying, mate, I like your game, here's some fan art. But before I read any of those 3 emails, I'm going to send you an email that I sent in 2016, February 2016, which is much poorer quality fan art than I sent him, like any of the ones I sent him this year. Just compare his responses, see if they've changed or if he's trying to change. I have not sent any emails without fan art attached. However, I may end up making more emails just to send things without fan art attached to see how he reacts. Although I think if he reacts rudely to ones without even fan art attached, it may be somewhat fair, since he has requested many times do not send him those things because it's slowing down progress, because he really likes to check his goddamn email. Anyway, the email I sent in 2016, it simply says, Dear YandereDev, in your criteria for an email someone should send you, you stated that fan art and cosplay was an acceptable reason. I'd really appreciate it if you look at this piece of fan art I made. It took a really long time and I hope you like it. P.S. I don't mind if you do not reply to this email as I know you need to focus on more time. You need to focus on more time on Yandere Simulator. But you just looking at the picture would mean a lot. Thanks. And in response he says, cute fan art, thanks for sharing. And that's the general response you get when you just send fan art and say, hey mate, I like your game. He'll compliment you and thank you. Which I think is pretty nice that he even just takes time to send something like that. Because I mean, he doesn't have to, but he does. So there's that. Now the next email I sent was on Saturday, October 6th at 11:20 p.m. English Daylight Savings Time. And this was a follow-up to the last email basically, because I knew I was using the same account and I wanted to see how it would react. So I said, hey, I sent you fan art like a year of ML. I forgot the ago in it. I'm just going to add that ago in, even though it's not in the actual email. Hey, I sent you fan art like a year ago of MLP of all things. You can really tell how much of a kid I was. Anyways, I've drawn a concept art thing of Megami Psycho, Shishomu, Mum from Inuyasha. They look similar, so I thought it'd be kind of neat. It's not shady or anything, but oh well, it exists. And in response he said, I think this looks cool. Thanks for sharing. You know, yay. Yeah, you did it. I still think that even 2 years later, nearly 3 days, still doing that, kindly, it's great. It's a good thing. But now I'm going to show you the one that I sent with the suggestion from a different account. Now, for the suggestion, I tried to completely make how I speak different, so we couldn't put two and two together and say, these are the same people sending me these emails, just in case. I mean, you probably won't get emails every single day, but like, just in case. So I said, hi, I made you some fan art and I hope you really like it. Ooh. By the way, have you tried less floors for the school? Less floors plus more students equals more lively school. Like, that's the closest thing of like getting less class and just having more students in class. But in front, this is what I got. This is cool art, thanks for sharing. I hadn't considered the ideas of less floors, so let me think about it for a moment. Well, less height means more width. In the end, it will be the same amount of space, and thus the same distribution of students across space, so the school wouldn't seem more lively. Thanks for sharing your art with me, though. And considering how much he said that he hates suggestions and questions, I think that's a pretty reasonable response, although I do believe it would be slightly different if I hadn't sent the fan art. But he has specifically asked for not those things, so I still think he's somewhat justified if you do get a somewhat rude response. And now on to the last one where I give critique of him. Well, I explain. You'll see what I mean in a second. Now, the last email, it was meant to be sent from a different account. However, I mistakenly sent it from my normal account because there was a glitch on my phone as I sent the email. However, he replied to it like I was somebody else. So I think this goes to show that he doesn't keep track of who emails him unless you specifically like list it like how the volunteers have to in the subject. Though that's just a thing he probably won't remember you, because this is the third email sent from the same account. So it says, to YandereDev, I am looking forward to the completion of your game. I have heard many bad things about the way you have treated fans, people in general, your behaviour and your code. That put me off your game for a while. Despite that, I am interested in seeing the end of this game. Perhaps setting time aside to learn code would help. I hope this game will be a coding experience for you that will allow you to improve and make later games better. I have attached a piece of fan art of Yandere Cham in the outfit Avril Lavigne wore in Hello Kitty. Sincerely, Bill. As for the Avril Lavigne Hello Kitty thing, that was just like on the fly, because I was looking at my friend's roleplay sheet for a character and that was the song. I'm just like, I need something to draw. I'll just do this. And it says Sincerely Bill, because the new account I had initially made to send that email with Bill Nye. It's basically a Bill Nye thing. And he sent like this long, oh my god, such a long, so long thing response. So I'm just gonna read what he said. Over the past 2 years, a group of people have been doing some pretty fucked up things to me. Oh yeah, by the way, trigger warnings wearing Christian server. I mean, not like I don't do anyway. Over the past 2 years, a group of people have been doing some pretty fucked up things to me. They call my phone, they send me weird things to my house, they spam me with pictures of bestiality and animal abuse, they flag all of social media to try and get my accounts banned, they submit false reports to the police and attempt to get SWAT team to show up to my house, and at Anime Expo there was a weird guy following me around taking pictures of me. For a really long time, I was super hesitant to even use the word harassment, but it feels like that word shouldn't be thrown around lightly. But at this point, any reasonable person would agree that what's happening to me is definitely harassment. No matter who you are, if you get treated the way I've been treated for an extended period of time, it's going to affect your mood. And if your mood gets bad enough, then it clouds your judgment and affects how you speak to others. There have been times when, in the heat of the moment, I have said something rude to another person. But if I make a rude remark towards someone, it's not an indication that I'm a bad guy. It's an indication that I've been treated like garbage for so long, I'm at the end of my rope. Every day, the anti-YandereDev crowd sends me messages like, I hope you die in a fire. I hope you get raped to death by dogs. I'm sorry, that's so oddly specific and I haven't read the email properly through and that's me, but it kind of makes me laugh. I'm sorry, Yandere. Sorry, that's so oddly specific, it's amusing. I hope your whole family gets AIDS, etc. The meanest thing I've ever said to another person is tame compared to the abuse that I receive from the Yandere crowd on a daily basis. I'm sure you're familiar with Napoleon, right? The French emperor. He's widely regarded as a military genius, with a dozen of military victories. However, you'll notice that he also had a few military defeats. If you wanted to, you could create a subreddit titled Napoleon Sucks, where you attempt to portray Napoleon as a military dumbass who was constantly failing in battles. You could use real evidence to support your claim. Napoleon lost battles. However, it's unfair and illogical to try and depict him as a military dumbass, because that's not what he was. Your subreddit would be composed of real actual evidence, but you'd be mischaracterizing Napoleon. You'd be smearing his reputation and enforcing a false narrative. That's what you're doing to me. Understand? I'm not paranoid, I'm not disrespectful, I don't have a fragile ego. I rarely insult anyone and I take criticism like a champion. But 1% of the time that I am speaking with fans, there will be negative interactions. If you just compile the negative interactions, then of course you can paint an inaccurate image of who I am. I have tons of positive, meaningful conversations with my audience. However, nobody takes a screenshot after a positive interaction. People, drama-loving edgy teenage kids. Oh me, that's such a mood. Only take screenshots after negative interactions. YandereDev, if it makes you feel better, I'm like showing all the positive interactions I've had with you in this video. It's okay, YandereDev, have a pat. The main reason I receive harassment every day is not because I'm a bad guy who has done anything wrong. It's because I am portrayed as a bad guy by people like you who enforce a false narrative and use propaganda to mischaracterize me and portray me as a twisted, exaggerated... Did he spell caricature wrong? 1 second. You know what? He didn't. GG no re YandereDev. Character of who I actually am. As for my code, that's a different story altogether. For the sake of simplicity, let's say there are 2 types of scripts. Scripts that are always running and scripts that only run for a single frame. When a script only runs for a single frame, it doesn't affect the game's performance at all. For these scripts, efficiency is not very important. They just need to be easy to read and easy to modify. So scripts that do run on every frame, I always try my best to make them as efficient as possible so that they don't have a negative impact on the game's performance. When people are talking trash about my code, they're talking about the 1 frame scripts that have no effect on gameplay. Nobody ever takes screenshots of the efficient scripts. People only take screenshots of the ones where efficiency wasn't a priority. Thank you for sharing your fan art with me. Please don't believe false narratives around me. You know, I really like that last bit because it said thanks, even though I said like, hey mate, I think you're a bit of a dick basically. So the thanks even at the end is good. And I think the Napoleon comparison is a bit extreme. However, I do get his point. And I also do get the fact that when he was younger, he was sort of like mean. Like, you hear crunching, that's because I just took a piece of gum. Screw you, strawberry gum is great. I think he isn't that bad of a guy. If he does get things like that every day, well, I'm sure he does, this is the goddamn internet. And that is gonna affect your mood. I really think we should give YandereDev the benefit of the doubt. I mean, this little video sure as heck's not gonna do anything. But I think people should cool off a bit. I've done bad things in my past as well. Literally, I've called people cunts right to their face. Even when they're being nice to me at that time. Because I'm looking at their past. Even though that's far away. And just looking at the past just mess everything up. You should only look at their present unless the past still affects the present in some way, shape or form. I don't think YandereDev's a bad guy. And even if the game loses hype by the time it actually does come out, I'm sure that it's still going to be a decent game. I don't think it'll be necessarily a bad game. Because what makes a bad game is absolutely no effort trying. Even a game that has poor graphics can still be a good game, or poor game mechanic can still be a good game. Because the love put into it really shines through, and when you see that love, you start to feel that love, and you think it's at least a decent game. And this is what I'm calling the YandereDev Experiment, how he reacts to different things. And I think his reaction to me saying that people saying things about him has put me off the game. Because you don't want people to hate you just because someone says something or something you've done a really long time ago. You should never really judge somebody of their past actions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, smash the fucking like button, I don't know. Just do all the things that all the YouTuber wants to do because it makes me happy. And if I can get more analytics, that would be great. I like numbers. I like watching numbers get bigger. And it's just like watching them get bigger, okay? When there's a green arrow pointing up in my athletics, it makes me get happy. So please do that. And this is Mega Trio from the Hub. Sign out. Make love to that fucking subscribe button.